Hey everyone, time to finally throw up a review for this. Today folks, we have the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 pistol. This of course is a variant of the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 A1 carbine, first introduced around 2010, chambered in 9mm, has a 7.72 inch barrel, operates on a blowback action, and is constructed mainly of polymer components. Originally, most of these imported came in the full A1 rifle box. It's a pretty nice box, graphics and everything. I know some of the newer imports just come in a plain Jane cardboard box. There's really nothing inside here, the manual and everything. I don't have a gun in here because it doesn't fit with the accessories on it now. But you can tell this is original cutout for the rifle. You get two 20-round magazines, nice bore snake. And here's our pistol. Dimensions on this guy, for anybody too lazy to look them up, are approximately 16 inches overall length, originally configured, by about 9.4 inches high. Weight is 5 pounds. Your trigger pull is nice and heavy. I finally need to get a digital pull gauge because this registered over the 8 pounds maximum that my manual gauge does. Here's our take up. There's not a whole lot of take up. Reset, good audible click, pretty much all the way out. It's just really heavy. So for any of you that haven't seen a review on this yet, I'll just run down some of the quick features. It has an Mp5 style charging handle that can be switched to either side. Oversized, easy to operate bolt release. Has ambidextrous safety selectors and magazine release, paddle style. Has a full 1913 Picatinny rail across the top, along with one on the right and left hand side and the bottom as well. So you can mount any accessory you want to your heart's content. It has multiple sling attachments, 2 on each side. It also has sling attachments in the rear, or it did, till I milled it off. The factory muzzle attachment is a simple flash suppressor. The threads are M18 by 1mm. The flash suppressor is retained by a little detent spring. I had intentions of using this with my suppressor, so I found that EWK Arms made a very compact M18 to 1/2 inch 28 adapter, so we have that on there. Your sights are a standard rifle peep sight with multiple different size apertures. Easy to adjust windage and elevations done up front with the post. They are well protected on each side from bumps and scrapes. They're very nicely made. It came with a factory hand stop to keep your hand from going any farther forward close to the muzzle. I swapped it out for the AFG to cover the entire Picatinny rail. 10, 20, and 30 round translucent magazines are available. The 30 round is decently priced at around $20 and by now are in stock fairly regularly online. Here's the 20 round. Here's the 30 round. Fairly compact. They are a straight push into the gun. No rock and lock, just straight up there. Takedown is fairly straightforward. Charge the gun and lock the charging handle back. Your takedown pin is right here. Push it down. Pull it out the other side. Make sure it's all the way pulled out. It's captive so it won't fall out. Pull down on the magazine trigger housing. The whole assembly will come out. Here's your ejector. Here's your trigger assembly. Kind of actually reminds me a little bit of the AK design. Here's a set of hooks, hammer shelf. Not too bad. The bolt just simply lifts out of the gun. Here's your bolt assembly. That is a huge extractor right there. Like I said, it's just blowback. Here's the chamber. It's fully supported to handle +P and +P+ NATO ammunition. Reassembly is pretty straightforward. Stick the bolt back in there, push it back. Make sure it locks back. Put your trigger housing back in. Push the push pin back through. Function check, and you're good to go. Some things I like about this gun. Aesthetics. This gun definitely does look pretty cool. I love the ambi mag release and the oversized bolt release. Both are fairly easy to operate with your trigger finger without having to overextend your grip. The Mp5 charging handle is cool as well. You can use a whole slap to charge the gun, and you can swap it to either side depending on what hand you are. You have to be careful when you swap this. There's a little tiny spring in there that you have to push out from the other side before you can push this all the way out and swap it to the other side. So be careful, because I've read people breaking those. Rail space. Lots of rail. It's eaten everything I've put through it. Steel case, aluminum case, 115 grain through 165 grain through +P+. The only malfunction I had was after 200 rounds of suppressor use. The mags get pretty dirty inside, and I had the follower stick a little bit, and the bullets decided to rearrange themselves in a non-standard way. Price-wise, this is pretty competitive. It runs slightly more than, say, your Kel-Tec Sub 2000 or a dedicated 9mm AR, but it's definitely less than any POF or Zenith Arms MP5 clone, and definitely less than the SIG MPX and 9mm as well. I picked this up for pretty much $8.50 out the door. Now normally I don't have a lot of complaints about a firearm, but this gun does have some things I don't like. The biggest thing, which is a lot of people's complaints, are the safeties. This was originally a rifle. As a pistol, your hand sits higher, and no matter if you're right or left-handed, the safety will dig into your trigger finger as you fire the gun. Also, unlike an AR, if your hammer is dropped and you accidentally somehow put the gun on safe, you will not be able to charge the gun. You actually have to make sure your safety is off, then you can charge the gun. As far as the safeties, multiple companies are starting to make safety deletes for them. Even CZ has safety deletes depending on which hand you are, and even some companies are coming out with different designs. I know somebody has like an AK style that comes out here so that's easily addressed. Sights, while beastly and purpose-built, they're rifle sights. They could have put out a pistol-friendly set of sights on here, but they do work pretty decent. I plan to throw a micro red dot on it, maybe a burst fast fire or a vortex spark. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the trigger at over 8 pounds, just way too heavy. Hopefully somebody like Geisley or R.A.N.G.E or somebody will come out with a trigger pack or something with this to lighten it up to maybe 4 or 5 pounds. The build quality on this is pretty good. There's no real rough edges, but there's a couple spots, like if you look up here where these holes are for the charging handle, they just don't seem finished well. It looks like they took like a drill and finished drilling them out. There's some little bit of sharp edges there, and like back here where they drilled for the safety, there's like plastic flash in there. It just little things like that I noticed, like these sharp edges here. Could have maybe done a better job, but that's just being picky. A lack of grip texture. Again, it was imported as a pistol, so people were going to shoot it like a pistol. They could have offered something with a little more grip. This smooth plastic doesn't have a lot of serrations on it. Again, as a rifle it's fine, as a pistol it definitely needs more grip, but some grip tape or stipling will take care of that. The rear sling attachments, I'm using an HK hook style sling from Echo 9.3, and I kind of wore the plastic out a little bit just using the sling through the 600 and 700 rounds that I've put through this. So what I ended up doing was I milled the back plate down, drilled a hole, and put the QD mount on there for now. The front rails are hard on your hands, so I ended up just putting the rubber rail covers on there and the AFG that took care of that. Threw a Streamlight light on the side there. Another thing that I'm not too thrilled about are the mags. Definitely not convinced of their quality. Here's a 30 round one that's seen just about 400 rounds and the lip's cracked, which is really common. Something I haven't seen anybody else find yet is this body is actually cracked in multiple places on this magazine. I never dropped it, threw it on the ground or anything. Just normal use and it's cracked. CZ supposedly will send you a new one. I sent them a couple responses and haven't heard back over a month, so I'm not sure what to think. They are kind of cheap, so you know, mags are considered a wear item, but I mean, when you're so used to P-mags going forever and ever, you kind of get a little bad taste in your mouth. Some of the 20 round magazines, as you saw from that clip, don't like to drop free from the gun for whatever reason. I don't know if they're not heavy enough, but the 30 rounds do drop free. I had one thing in mind with this when I purchased it: entry into a pistol caliber carbine market. I immediately filed my Form 1 for this after getting it. I'm currently waiting for it to come back and for CZ to offer their 922R kit that comes with the factory side folding stock. One huge plus is that you couldn't SBR this gun any easier. Once you have your Form 1 and you've decided on what kind of stock you want to use, you push this button right back here, slide this adapter off, and you slide your stock and or AR tube adapter on there and locks in place, and you're done. No drilling, no welding, no riveting, nothing. Slide it on and you're good to go. Overall, I'd have to agree with Nothing Fancy. As a pistol, this is kind of so-so, but as an SBR, it's a definite win. I feel AK pistols are much easier to use than this. However, with that in mind, I can live with that, knowing that the only way that this could get in the country was imported as a pistol. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the SBR conversion.